One day, you'll wake up and realize that years have passed. People you loved have changed. Opportunities have disappeared. Time has quietly slipped away. And the worst part, you won't get those years back. The Stoics spent their lives preparing for this moment. They discovered truths so powerful that most people only understand them when it's already too late. Today, I'll share 20 brutal Stoic truths about life that can completely change the direction of your future. Don't skip ahead, because truth number 20 is the lesson Marcus Aurelius believed separates an ordinary life from an extraordinary one. Every morning, your life becomes one day shorter. Most people think they have plenty of time. The Stoics never believed that. They treated every sunrise like a gift. Not because they feared death, but because they respected life. Imagine receiving $86,400 every morning, with one condition. Whatever you don't use today disappears forever. Time works exactly the same way. Yet people waste hours scrolling, complaining, waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment never arrives. Life is happening now, and while you're waiting, time is quietly walking away. The saddest part isn't dying. The saddest part is realizing you never truly lived. One day, someone promises they'll never leave. Months later, they're gone. A close friend becomes a stranger. Someone you trusted becomes a lesson. The Stoics accepted this reality without becoming bitter. Because they understood, people change. Priorities change. Circumstances change. Nothing stays the same forever. When you accept change, you stop being shocked by it. Instead of clinging to what was, you learn to appreciate what is, and strangely enough, that acceptance brings peace. Most people spend years fighting the wrong battles. They blame society, luck, their past, other people. The Stoics looked somewhere else. Inside. Because the loudest voice you'll ever hear is your own. It says, "You're not ready. You'll fail. Try tomorrow instead." If you defeat that voice, very little outside you can stop you. If you lose to it, nothing outside you can save you. The greatest battle of your life will always happen inside your own mind. Nobody locks the door. Nobody forces you to stay. Yet millions of people spend their entire lives trapped inside their comfort zone. Why? Because comfort feels safe. It asks for nothing. It demands nothing. But it also gives you nothing. The Stoics believed comfort slowly steals your potential. Every dream, every goal, every extraordinary achievement begins with a moment of discomfort. The first workout hurts. The first business fails. The first speech feels terrifying. But every uncomfortable step makes you stronger. Remember this. A comfortable life rarely creates a remarkable person. Look closely at the 5 people you spend the most time with. One day, you'll begin to think like them, speak like them, live like them. The Stoics were extremely careful about choosing their companions, because they knew that character is contagious. Negative people spread excuses. Lazy people spread comfort. Disciplined people spread discipline. Wise people spread wisdom. Your future is quietly being shaped by the company you keep. Choose carefully, because the wrong circle can steal years from your life. Everyone wants success. Few are willing to pay for it. People admire confidence. But ignore the years of self-doubt that built it. They admire wealth, but ignore the sleepless nights. They admire discipline, but ignore the daily sacrifices. The Stoics understood one truth. Everything valuable has a price. The question isn't whether you'll pay. The question is, what price are you willing to pay? Because if you refuse the price of discipline today, you'll eventually pay the price of regret tomorrow. Imagine yourself at 80 years old, looking back on your life. What will hurt more, the failures you experienced, or the dreams you never even attempted? The Stoics believed regret is one of life's heaviest burdens. Failure teaches. Failure strengthens. Failure eventually fades. But regret can stay with you forever. Don't let fear convince you to live a smaller life. Years from now, you won't regret the chances you took. You'll regret the chances you were too afraid to take. Your future is not decided in one dramatic moment. It is built in ordinary mornings, ordinary evenings, small daily choices. The Stoics focused on habits, because habits become character, and character becomes destiny. 1 hour of learning every day. 1 workout every day. 1 act of discipline every day. These small actions seem invisible, until one day, they create an extraordinary life. Many people say, "I'll start when I feel motivated." The Stoics smiled at this idea because motivation comes and goes like the weather. Discipline stays. There will be mornings when you don't feel like working. Days when you don't feel confident. Moments when giving up seems easier. Those are the moments that shape your future. Winners don't wait to feel ready. They begin anyway. The Stoics often reflected on death. Not to become afraid, but to remember what truly matters. When you remember life is temporary, small arguments lose their importance. Petty jealousy disappears. Unnecessary fear fades away. You stop postponing your dreams. Because you finally understand. Someday is not guaranteed. Every sunrise is another opportunity. Don't waste it. Success is not one great decision. It is thousands of small ones. The Stoics understood that every repeated action becomes a habit. Every habit becomes part of your character. And your character becomes your destiny. If you repeat excuses, you become weak. If you repeat discipline, you become unstoppable. One choice may seem small today, but repeated over years, it shapes the person you become. Never underestimate the power of your daily routine. Most people spend their lives chasing happiness. A better job, more money, a bigger house. More followers. The Stoics discovered something surprising. Happiness cannot be chased. It is created. It grows when you live with purpose. When you keep your word. When you help others. When you become proud of the person you see in the mirror. The happiest people aren't those who have everything. They are those who appreciate what they already have. Life will test you. Someone will betray your trust. You will lose something valuable. Plans will fail. The Stoics never believed they could control every event. But they believed they could always control one thing. Their response. Two people can face the same problem. One becomes bitter. The other becomes wiser. The difference isn't the situation. The difference is the mindset. Your reaction today is quietly creating your tomorrow. The loudest person is not always the strongest. The Stoics admired those who remained calm, who listened more than they spoke. Who refused to argue over every opinion. Silence is powerful. It gives you time to think, time to observe, time to choose wisdom over emotion. Not every insult deserves an answer. Not every battle deserves your energy. Sometimes walking away is the greatest victory. This truth is difficult to accept, but it can completely change your life. The world does not owe you success. It does not owe you fairness or comfort. The Stoics accepted this without complaint. Instead of asking, "Why isn't life easier?" they asked, "How can I become stronger?" The moment you stop expecting life to be easy, you become capable of handling almost anything. And that is where true strength begins. Many people keep living in yesterday. They replay old mistakes, old heartbreaks, old failures, again and again. The Stoics believed the past has only one purpose: to teach you, not to trap you. Every painful experience carries a lesson. Take the lesson. Leave the pain. Because you cannot build a better future while living in an old memory. The strongest people don't forget the past. They simply refuse to live there. People chase expensive cars, big houses, fame, status. The Stoics chased something far more valuable: a peaceful mind. Because money can disappear, success can fade, but a calm mind remains with you through every storm. The person who sleeps peacefully at night is richer than the person who owns everything but lives in constant anxiety. Protect your peace. It is your greatest treasure. Many people spend years waiting for motivation, waiting for the right opportunity, waiting for someone to believe in them. The Stoics asked a different question: why wait? Become your own source of motivation. Become your own inspiration. Become the person your future self will thank. The life you want begins the moment you stop waiting and start becoming. Yesterday may have been filled with mistakes, but today is different. Every sunrise gives you another opportunity to improve, to forgive, to learn, to begin again. The Stoics never believed one bad day defined your life. Only quitting does. As long as you're alive, you still have another chance to become stronger. Never waste that gift. If there is one truth that can completely transform your life, it is this: no one is coming to save you. Not luck, not perfect, not the approval of other people. Your future depends on the choices you make today. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. They didn't wait for life to become easier. They became stronger. They didn't blame circumstances. They mastered themselves. Life will continue testing you. Some people will leave. Some dreams will fail. Some days will break your heart. But remember this: every difficult moment is asking you one question: will you give up, or will you grow? Choose growth. Choose discipline. Choose courage. Because one day you'll look back and realize the hardest seasons of your life created the strongest version of you. That is why the Stoics never feared suffering. They knew suffering, when faced with wisdom, becomes strength, and strength becomes freedom. That is the Stoic way. Subscribe for more Stoic wisdom that helps you build a powerful, disciplined, and fearless life.